Hello world, welcome back. We're looking at the Prusa Mini Plus today. This is an unboxing video. This has got some great features. You know, it's a really good size. So it's a 7x7x7 or 18x18x18 centimeter build volume. Fully equipped 3D printer featuring sensorless homing, automatic bed leveling and calibration. So really excited to get my hands on this and have a look. So opening the box, we've got an invoice and the instruction manual. A really nice little manual, sort of high glossy, came with some free stickers as well, which is always a bonus. So I'm just literally going to unbox everything here and see what we've got, and then we'll get into the build. It's got a colour LCD screen, which yeah, I really like the look of. So obviously with the Crealities, they're not colour. Most of the printers I've used are either the Crealities or the Elegoo's for the resin. Oh, some Haribo. Got some Haribo in the box, which is always a bonus. I really like that. It's just a little, you know, it's just a little touch, but you know, really nice touch there. So loads of packaging on this. Well, apart from the polystyrene, I think it's polystyrene. It's actually more like a sort of a foamy material. But this can be used to line 3D printed armour like helmets, and yeah, this is it all laid out. This is the partly assembled version. You can get a full kit version, but I didn't go for that purely for sort of, you know, time reasons. And the 3D printing handbook is actually double-sided. So one side is the construction of the printer, and the other side is an actual user manual for 3D printing with tips and tricks. So, and it even tells you when to eat the Haribo, which is nice because, you know, I will just dig in. So getting started, we're going to empty out some of the parts. There's loads of cable ties and a little spanner that you will need. Some rubber feet, and obviously nuts and bolts for assembling this all together. Okay, all clearly labelled, really nicely laid out in little seal bags, which is always good. And you've literally just got to follow the instructions on this. So just step by step, and you shouldn't go too wrong. So at the end of the video, I'm going to talk through the different quality of the prints. And you can see the first step here is just popping the feet out, getting it ready to use. Okay, so I haven't used an official Prusa printer before, so it is going to be interesting to see what obviously the build is like. One thing I wasn't too overly keen about was this. I mean, that's a pretty poor print quality, but it is covered by the feet, so I guess we can let that go. But from Prusa, you do expect a certain quality, a certain standard that you sort of come to expect from reading the forums, so I would have expected a little bit better on that. I can be overly critical, but you know, so I'm just attaching the feet here, just lining them up, getting them straight, and they stick straight on, which is super easy to do. Okay, so just going and attaching all the feet now takes a little bit of time. You just get them lined up. You don't want it triggering your anxiety. I know with me, I like to have it as well in place as possible. And if it's off slightly, I get a little bit upset by that. So obviously taking out our Allen keys now, and just undoing the top or the lid of the motherboard housing where the motherboard goes. So the instructions on this are really clear. If you just follow along in that manual, you shouldn't have too many issues. Just take your time and see how you get on. If you do get stuck on anything, do comment below. I'll try to respond to all comments. So you can see here, once that comes off, it exposes all the wires and the motherboard. Okay, so this is the part where we're going to attach the colour screen, and to do that we're going to take the ribbon cable, and we're going to get that slotted through the bottom of the motherboard case or housing, and all clipped up and attached. If you just watch, you'll see how I do that. This video, I'm hoping, is more of a sort of visual guide for anyone who's got the kit and just wants to check how things are done, really, rather than being sort of a full follow along build video. Just use it as a quick visual reference, you know. So that will just slot in through here, okay, and you can plug it into the board, obviously taking your time, and just make sure that they're in the right way round. They should only go in one way, but obviously if you put them in the wrong way round, you could risk it going pop, which you don't want. Okay, so that's in there nicely. You've now got to put the screws through here, and this bit I found actually quite tricky to get lined up. So once they're all through, you have to line them up with the sort of screws on the side, which I'll show you now. And yeah, it is a bit of a pain, to be honest, to get both those lined up. So do just take your time. Took quite a while to just work out the best way to do it, and just take your time, get your screws through, line them up, and then just sort of turn each one at the same time. So you can see there it's got to go into those two holes, and actually it can be a little bit tricky. This is actually this video is taking quite a bit of time to sort of get out and edit and get it up, because I switched over from Android to iPhone. So I went from Android to iPhone for certain reasons, and yeah, when I filmed it on the iPhone, I didn't check what quality it was in, and I think it's actually in 4K 60 frames a second. So although I've got a reasonably decent CPU, so I've got a Ryzen 9, decent graphics card at the moment, but actually it's still a bit of a beast to edit on this. Still getting quite a bit of lagging, so I've got to work on that. So once that gantry's all attached, you then attach the color screen. And I have to say, I really like the size of the Prusa Mini. You know, I've gone from the Ender 3 to the CR10 V2. Now we've got our hands on a Prusa Mini, which is going to be absolutely fantastic for my classroom, for printing some of the little projects that the students do, like the key rings, bookmarks and stuff like that. So that's the main reason for the getting the Mini. You know, I watched a couple of Uncle Jesse's videos, really liked the fact that he did the Mandalorian blaster on it in a couple of prints. The quality looked really good. So here I'm just feeding the cable on the underneath side, and it is a little bit tricky. It's a little bit of a pain to get it nice and in there safely. You know, now I'm not overly worried about these cables. These cables are pretty much cheap as chips if anything goes wrong, but just take your time, get it into the groove, as the instruction manual says, as best as possible, because actually that's the most important part. And then just following the guide and hooking up all the cables. Oh, these things can be so fiddly sometimes. Do you ever find that you're just trying to connect them up and you just can't get them in? Maybe it's the stubby fingers, who knows. But yeah, so I'm hoping this comes out okay, you know, 4K 60 frames a second. So the reason I mainly swapped from Android to iPhone was that the Google Pixel and the new version of the Android OS just triggered me so much. So I got the Google Pixel, and to be honest, I found the battery life was shockingly bad. This was going from a P20 Pro over to Google Pixel 6, and I got it on contract and I wasn't happy, so I sent it back and I went for the Pixel 6 Pro, and the battery life on that was even worse, probably because of the screen resolution. so I actually found that lasted less. And then there was just with the update after January was just shocking. It was horrendous. It was literally like headphones would connect and then they'd disconnect, and the Bluetooth would connect and then the Bluetooth. It was just appalling. So I made the decision to switch over to iPhone. Now I haven't had iPhone in over 10 years. You know, my first iPhone was the 3GS, and I went from that to Android, and I hadn't really looked back. And then obviously I thought I'd go back and give iPhone a try, and I've been really happy with that. You know, the 13 Pro, I didn't go Pro Max because, you know, I just thought it was too big, but the 13 Pro has been amazing. Really enjoyed the experience of switching back to Apple. I did get the Watch 7 and the AirPod Pros as well, which noise cancellation on those is fantastic, absolutely awesome. So we're going to stick with that for a while and see how that goes. So yeah, but yeah, I was just so disappointed in the Google Pixel. You know, I love Google products, and it was shocking. It was shockingly bad. So I absolutely love this. This is one thing about the Mini, the Prusa Mini, I absolutely thought was fantastic, and that was the filament holder. The filament holder is really cool. You know, it's simple. It's a simple design, but it just works. So yeah, really cool. Really nice. I might print the there's a little stand you can print on the Prusa, so I'll try and link in the description. If I do forget, which I do tend to do quite often, just ping me a comment and I'll get that sorted and put there. But it's a little stand, and it houses it just reduces the form factor even more. It means you don't have to have the filament at the side. You can have it mounted underneath. Just really nice. So what I'm doing here is I'm just lining up all the bits on the spool holder, just to get them where I want it to for the width of the filament. And yeah, so pretty yeah, I'm pretty bullish on the spool holder for this thing. It's pretty nice. So if you're looking for a good design for a spool holder, this is what you want. Maybe you disagree. Some of you might disagree. So let me know what you think below. Do leave me a comment. I do try to respond to most of my comments. And of course, it was gummy bear time. Gotta love some gummy bears. But of course, you know, when you're looking at Haribo gummy bears, you've got to eat them all in one go. And then again, with the filament holder, there's just some little sticky feet to attach just for that stability. So just take your time, get them lined up nicely. Okay, so that's that job done. So the way they package this, it's all in little individual bags. Makes it really easy to put everything together. There's some spare parts, you know, some extra screws in case you need them, which is nice. Some maintenance, oil, and so on. So yeah, that's really useful. So this is the flexi plate bed. You can upgrade this. I just went with the standard option. And then I'll have a look later to see whether or not I want to get anything different. Power block's pretty chunky, quite large. I was a little bit shocked at the size of that, but like I say, there is a stand, a base that will, you know, you can print to shrink everything down. And if you really do like that orange filament, you can get that off the Prusa website. Just to keep sort of like a consistency. So got the plate on, powering it all up, and we'll see where we go. So there is a little USB that comes with it that's got it's got your initial demo prints on, but it's also got some firmware. and there's a little wizard. The wizards on this are great, and the colour screen is really nice. So you just run through the wizards, the startup wizards. It will test the nozzle temp, heat bed temp, just make sure everything's working as it should. So do run through this. It checks the hot end fan and the print fan, and you should get some little green ticks just to say that that's all okay. At the bottom of the screen you can see the temperatures, so what everything's at the moment. So the bed's currently heating up to 35, and just let it run, let it do its thing, and all should be right with the world. So yeah, so like I say, I do tend to watch Uncle Jesse a lot. I do like his videos, so do check that channel out. It's really high end. I don't have the time with teaching full time to make the quality videos he does, and he does some amazing stuff. So do check that out. Like I said, when he did his mini video, I was really impressed with I think it was the Mandalorian blaster. It was really good. So yeah, one of my go-to channels. So you can see here the self-test is just running, and just checking everything. It's checking the axes, the X, Y, and Z axis. It will just check, make sure they're all okay. Yeah, well, there is a little bit of grinding, but actually as it's come down, it's sort of sorted itself out. It could just be where the oils on the rods has just dried out a little bit, and as it's gone down, it's all sorted. Yeah. Top tip I would say is the screws. Even if you get the pre-assembled kit, all the screws that you can see on screen now that are facing us, just give them a little bit of a tighten. The belt screws. Okay, because actually I did notice they were slightly loose, and that will cause you some issues. So just give everything a little bit of a tighten. Don't over tighten it, obviously, and try not to damage the heads of the bolts, the screws, because obviously that would be a pain, and you don't want that. So just finishing off these self-tests. I could have cut this down, but I just decided I've just left it so as you can see what's going on. Sometimes it's really good to have that point of reference, just to see, is this normal? Is this what mine should do? So I've got no problem with you skipping to the bits you need to look at. I don't expect you to be sat there listening to me for an hour of video. So yeah, so that's just finishing off the Z-axis now. Overall, the quality of the machine's quite nice. Like I say, there are some on some of the printed parts where you can't see. I did notice that actually they're a bit rough and ready, but where it counts and the visual aspect, actually, that you can't really fault some of the printed parts that it comes with. Yeah, comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Prusa range. I'd be quite interested. So this is just running the nozzle heat check, heat bed heater check, and just running through that. So what's everyone printing at the moment? Currently I'm doing the Ghostbuster diorama from Sanix. Pretty cool model. I'm doing that in SLA, and yeah, painting with some Model Air. Check that out on the Instagram. So at AHC Me UK for that one. But I do like some of Sanix models. Also goes by Malik. I think it's Malik's 3D Design. I've never understood why there's two names for it, but I think that's changed now. It's got a really cool subscription service for models. So do check that out. I think the latest one is a Godfather model. I do like the Godfather movies, so that's pretty cool. So that's it. All tests finished successfully. You gotta love that face, haven't you? A little icon. So first layer, to calibrate with currently loaded filament, press next. To load filament, press load. To change filament, press unload. So essentially this is where we load the filament in. And this actually, the filament, the way the filament loads, I was super impressed. I just pushed this in like just slightly and it just pulls it through super quick, so much nicer than fiddling with that extruder on the Ender 3s, and trying to get it through the run out sensor, you know, having to cut it at that sort of diagonal, yeah, much easier. So just a few little things that I'm liking about the Prusa Mini over the Ender 3. So yeah, I must say though that the Creality enclosures that you can get are pretty nice. I had to buy one for school because obviously if you in the schooling setting in the UK, you can't have sort of an open 3D printer. You have to have it in an enclosure for health and safety reasons. So I went with the Creality enclosures, and they are really nice. It's just a pole system, obviously with material over the top, and I'll try and put up a short maybe just to show you what they're like, or just have a look and, you know, whack it in the bar at the top. But yeah, just for the price, you know, and you want a little enclosure, you can obviously do the IKEA, the table hack, but if you haven't got time for that and you just want, you know, an enclosure that's going to work, it's just zip up. Yeah, really cool. So this is doing a calibration test, the first layer test. You know, and with any auto bed leveling, you know, it's never going to work straight away out of the box. You are going to, it does make your life, like I say, significantly easier, but you are still going to have to get that Z height right. Okay, and you are going to have to sort of manually adjust that Z height. So even if you bought a printer with auto bed leveling because you like, I'm not spending time leveling the bed, you are going to have to play about with that Z height to get the squish right. Okay, it's just one of those things. It's something you've got to learn. Okay, so yeah, and even with the Mini straight out the box with everything, you know, pretty much factory built, ready to go. You'll see when it starts to extrude that actually the filament isn't sticking to the bed, and it is something you do have to play about with. You've got to play about to get that first line. You've got to put the time and effort in. It is just one of those things. So at the moment it does probe pretty quick. I actually like the way this probes better than the BL Touch on my Crealities, to be fair. And I'm just checking out those temperatures there. The little flashing red light's annoying. That bugs me a little bit. But that, you know, that's just something that triggers me personally. So you can see here it's starting to do that first layer, and you can see here it's really high. I don't know if you spotted that. It's way too high, and actually you can see there it's just moving. So it's not sticking. So you will need to play about with the Z height and just adjust. Just do this really slowly, really carefully. What you don't want to do is you don't want that nozzle smashing into the bed, messing up your nice new build plate. Okay, so do take your time, but you can see here that's just not right. You should be able to just sort of touch it and it stay stuck, not rub off. I always find it really hard to try to describe what a perfect first layer looks like. I did see on Reddit actually a really nice example photo of it, and I'll see if I can put a link into that, if I can find it again, because you look at it and you're like, yeah, that explains it. That's what a first layer should look like. So let me I'll see if I can dig that out. But you can see here, that's just a mess. It's not sticking. You know, and this is the bit where you're like, why is it not working? And it is literally just a case of let's play about with the. I could stop it now. I should stop it now, really. Let's play about with the. You can see how high that nozzle is. That nozzle's like so high. It's just literally dropping it onto the bed. So, but I'm curious. I was curious to see what the sort of initial first layer was like. So you can see here, I've done it again. And I've changed it, and I kept playing about with it until it's looking pretty nice. Okay, so it's sticking nicely. It's got just a little bit of squish. It's not perfect, so I probably will run it one more time, just till I'm really happy. But I think, yeah, we can. I mean, you could probably give it a go with a demo print now and just an initial first print and see how it comes out. It's just, isn't quite right. So then I did decide to flash the firmware. I realized that the firmware was out of date, and again, really easy. Firmware on the USB, go to the flash firmware, click the button, super quick, verifies it's all done, and actually there's your firmware done. So something that is a lot trickier on the Creality is really quick. So these are some of the options we got for demo prints. Obviously we've got Tree Frog, Benchy, you know, and there's a few different things. I love the visual display. I think that's really nice touch. Let's do, I mean, shall we do it? Should we go for the Benchy? You know, there's people out there who's never printed a Benchy. For the love of God, print a Benchy. Baptism of fire, print your Benchies. You know, I love the Jaws Benchy. You know, I think we need a bigger boat. So here we go. So this is the initial print. So I was surprised how quick it printed. I have to be completely honest. The print speed was quite nice. This is just default. This is just straight off the USB. No real tweaking of settings or anything like that. But I mean, you can see that my nozzle is still slightly too high. I'm going to let this run, you know, and actually it was okay. You can see that it's managed it. There's no issues with it, but it is still a little bit too high for my liking. It needs to be Z offset, just needs lowering just slightly. But yeah, super quick. And there we are, Benchy. A little bit of stringing. Again, I'll play about with that. And like I say, Z height a little bit too high, but that's really, you know, that's nice. I mean, get that stringing off of there, sort that out. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm kind of happy with that. You know, it's not that bad. I've certainly seen worse. I've had worse in my time. So we're going to check out the other demo prints as well. Yeah, it come off quite nice. It's fine. So yeah, the Benchy. You know, 2 hours 2 minutes for that. So these are the finished demo prints. Pretty impressed with most of them, to be honest. So yeah, we've got the whistle, the sheep, the frog, the sign, and of course you've got the Benchy and the pug. So this is the Benchy. It came out okay. There was quite a bit of stringing, and like I said, the bottom was a bit rough, and you can see some of the layer lines. Now this is actually printed on actual draft settings. This is 0.2. Frog came out quite nicely, again stringing, and actually the nozzle was still a little bit too far from the bed. The sign came out quite nice. You can see there where it wasn't quite close enough, so just playing about with that as we go. The little pug dog, liking that. Got it a little bit better there, a bit better of a first layer. I like the texture effects on the sheep. Pretty happy getting those that first layer perfect, you know. I quite like the screw. Gives a nice little twisty sound. And it was actually really came together really nice. Just works just actually quite well. I was really impressed with that. It's actually kind of satisfying. It's a bit like a fidget. Quite nice. And the whistle, extremely loud. Very, very loud. It's nice that that works straight off the plate. So thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe and share.